The Yolanda and Cornelius Show, a Christian perspective on hot topics surrounding our community with emphasis on personal and leadership development. This show is inspiring, informative, and entertaining. You never want to miss it. Now let's see what everyone is yakking about. The Yolanda and Cornelius Show. You may contact us through our website, www.trifoldoutreach.com, or by phone, 800-664-1793.
Welcome to the evening of Super Tuesday. I am Cornelius. This is the Yak. I have my lovely niece, cousin, daughter with me, Ebony, who's going to talk to us about the Millennial Minute and Madness as it relates to the candidacy, Corona, and closure. But we will start with relationships first. She and I had a conversation recently about closure and bringing closure to relationships and the difficulties of making closure a reality. So we asked her, first of all, why is closure such a hard thing in relationships?
I think closure is a difficult situation in relationships because you just want to get answers for what was missing and lacking in that moment. Some situations end very quickly, and you want to know why. Like, okay, why did this happen? I need closure. I need to know why. At least if I'm gonna walk away from you today and you just feel like, oh, okay, I'm done, I need to know why. And some people probably don't care about closure, but I'm just one of the people, I'm not at ease if I can't exactly know why the situation took a toll for where it did. And that'll help me decide if we can be friends or not too.
Is it necessary to be friends with someone that you can't love anymore? Or what's the difficulty of maintaining a friendship with somebody that you love but can't be with?
I feel like it definitely depends on the circumstances.
What you mean circumstances?
Of the relationship, because if you have to see that individual all the time, then you have to figure out a way to be cordial with that conversation, with that person, and be able to converse with them maybe 1 or 2 times out the week, professionally.
Professionally? Professionally. Yeah. What does professionally mean? Help me with professionally.
If somebody dates somebody that they did business with, you have to figure out some kind of way to be able to reconcile with that person and have a great rapport with that individual. And if it's too much turmoil in the situation, then I guess you just have to find somewhere else to go. But what can be stumbling blocks in that situation is if we do not come to reconciliation with one another, then now it's awkward. Possible animosity towards one another. Like I said, awkward. Just very awkward situation. You're going to keep walking past each other, not saying hello. Would you really want somebody walking past you and not speaking to you? How would that make you feel?
Well, you said the key word professional, and then now you those lines are now getting crossed.
Emotional, because it's going to.
I get it.
It crosses.
I do get that. Professional. There needs to be a level of space. There needs to be a level of respect with space. How do I respect a space with a person? Or how do I develop a boundary with a person or relationship where there really was no boundaries? Look how uncomfortable that is for me or for that person. Here we are, boo bae. You're my number one, my ace, and now I have to develop a boundary for you that is really imaginary. Because in my heart, there is no boundary. But in my head, I have to develop a boundary. So how do I bring closure to a situation where I have to create a boundary for a person and a space for a person that I don't like them to be in myself? I don't like them there because I love them too much. Or for better words, I like them too much or whatever. So I'm just trying to figure out, how we deal with.
I guess if you're like around that individual at the time, you have to just like instantaneously create that band. Like, hey, we can't do this. If they're trying to open back up that window, because it's always those situations that person always tries to open back up that window, you have to say like, this is not that. Like, let's take
this is not that.
Let's take a few steps backwards.
What does this not that mean?
That ain't happening.
That what?
Situation.
Okay.
This is not about to occur. Or you can try to block that person.
But
that's a different type of discipline. I mean, phone wise, I guess if I block your number, I don't know that you're trying to contact me, which gives me more room to get over you. If I unfriend you on social medias, I can't see what you're doing. So I can't be affected. But that's also hard too, because at the same time, I do want to see what your well-being is like sometimes.
You do?
Sometimes.
You really do?
Sometimes. Not all the time.
You really do though, don't you?
It depends on the site. Some of the sites I don't care. Some sites I really don't. But if I feel like genuinely just like in the well-being, I guess it doesn't become toxic until you see them with somebody else.
Gotcha. Well, folks, we know closure is a very difficult thing to deal with. Closure is something that has to be developed, and as we develop those boundaries and those spaces for those people that we are trying to bring closure with, I just pray Godspeed for you and for them, that they can handle it, because some people become obsessed and some people have behaviors that are very erratic, crazy, and the obsession can become overwhelming and people do some strange things. Moving right along, Super Tuesday, let's talk about politics. Where are you politically other than just an AKA? And what was your other org that you...
Women of Infinite Potential.
Okay, so let's talk about those. WHIP and AKA, how did they shape your character in college?
Well, Alpha Kappa Alpha definitely involved me more in the community and made me more of a person of service. What'd you say? Servitude?
I guess you did it. I'm not an AKA.
If I'm using that word in the right context.
Yeah, I'm not an AKA.
Also helped me become, I want to say, more of a leader in certain aspects of taking on important roles in the community. The dynamic of being in a sorority is just like very important because you're like very connected, and as a sisterhood, it draws many women together. You'll be surprised like what thousands of women can do when they come together. It's just shaped me to be like better with my education. And
did it?
A little bit. A little bit.
That's all good. I got you.
You know, other than my horrible procrastination skills, obviously that hasn't changed.
Oh, you can't, right.
But as far as knowing my purpose in my education and what I need to do.
All right, now that it's Super Tuesday and we're trying to get a... WHIP! Women of...
Infinite Potential.
I forgot about WHIP. I'm sorry, WHIP. So we want to shout out to WHIP at TSU.
With that org, it helped me immerse myself more in college activities and campus programs, and it helped me learn how to be involved in the business aspect of campus and what was going on with other orgs. And I guess I was never an introvert. I've always been an extrovert, so I've never had an issue like, I guess, connecting with other people. But yeah, that org taught me how to network. That was my first hands-on experience with networking, because I joined that organization at first semester as a freshman year in college. So
it was WHIP that gave you that collegiate feel and brought you out of your shell and cocoon. Not that you really had
that's
one.
That's where I initially learned the importance of community service.
With WHIP?
With WHIP.
Cool. Now, where are you now politically? It is Super Tuesday. We are down to Biden, Bernie, Bloomberg. what do you know about any candidate? Very little, nothing at all. I mean, how do you
very
feel?
Little. The one thing that I can say is that I've always been a fan of Joe Biden. Like, I feel like Joe Biden is my best friend. I'm sorry, that's my homie. Like, right there with Obama, I feel like it's second to Obama. Like, Biden 2020 all the way. But at the same time, I just wish to get a younger candidate up in there. All are old. Bernie, the situation with him is like, I'm like not leaning so much towards him. It's just like, what can you really get done and what can you do? Because when I'm like looking at his age, he's sick. His mind is bad. He don't remember what day it is. But what I do like about Bernie Sanders, so I will say, is his passion for students and their education and loans definitely has me engaged. I am all for his plan to pay off student loans and debt. He really realized how bad student debt is for all of us.
Bernie does.
Yes. And every time he runs for something, presidency, and even when he wasn't a presidential candidate, he was still trying to figure out ways to reduce student debt.
So, you're stuck between Bernie and Joe, but you feel like Joe's your best friend, but you give all this publicity to Bernie because of what the latter things that you said. So why do you feel like Biden's your buddy then? Like,
I just said I've always felt like he was like...
You just felt him as granddad.
Like, yeah. Like, that's my uncle that can come to the cookout.
But I need more than an uncle. I need a president. I need a commander-in-chief. And if you think he's capable of that role, then I get it. But
in my opinion...
What is your opinion?
When he was in office with Obama alongside Obama, personally, I know everybody has their own opinions. I never really saw him do anything horrible as a vice president. I always thought that he stood alongside the decisions that Obama made in a good way. He always supported him. And I just like, it's just something about the swagger of Joe. Like,
because he's like Uncle Joe.
Yeah, it's just
like Uncle Joe.
And I feel like, even with like, it just seems personable when he talks about some of the tragedies in his life. Like, even just sitting outside of presidency in the election, just like knowing that he lost his daughter and all of that. I feel like he's very relatable. I feel like he's very relatable to the people, especially the African American community.
Joe over Bernie, because Bernie did the thing with Dr. King and your great granddaddy. I mean, he's had that.
When he was vice.
Who? Oh, when he was vice. Okay, gotcha. What about Bloomberg? What do you think about? You don't know. I know you don't know anything about him, and most New Yorkers that I know are still upset with the stop and frisk. Like, he kind of gave the legislation for individuals of brown skin to be stopped and frisked. That is something that he's going to have to live through. Yeah, anytime. Like, you could be walking home from school, stop and frisk, because he wanted to, curtail crime. You know very little about that, but I'm just bringing it to you, not to throw shade at Bloomberg. But when you think about, just think, you, Destiny, Diana, walking home, getting stopped and frisked at any time. Like, how traumatizing that was for the New Yorkers who lived through that era with Bloomberg as their mayor. And now he's running for president. He wouldn't do that again. I think he's learned from that. But that stop and frisk was a bit...
African American children, not with...
And Latinos, people of brown skin.
But you don't want to do it with your own.
But
of the Caucasian descent.
Correct. Because he stopped and it was a stop and frisk.
I feel like at the end of the day, the closer and closer that you get towards the coming to the end of the presidential candidacy, these are things that gets brought back up. Everybody knows when you get towards the end of the election, they start throwing some
serious shade.
Yes. And digging up the dirt of all your dirt. And it's going to come a time that, say, for instance, if he makes it to the final two.
You think he will?
I'm not saying that he would, but I say for instance that he does, he's gonna have to deal with his past demons of the stop and frisk, and people are gonna those Trayvon Martins out there, those little boys. That movement is very much still prevalent. You know, he just had a birthday, and I believe he would have been, I'm not sure, what, 25?
Yeah, he's a little older than you. Yeah, not much older.
25. And so people start posting all about that over again. I mean, these issues are going to always be prevalent. And you know what African American young males are enduring in today, especially over the last, well, I don't want to put a date on it.
Right. We can't date it, but
I
just
don't want to date it,
400 years.
Yeah.
That's a good date.
It's a very prevalent issue, and it's a very sensitive subject. And it's just like, how do you come back from that? As a president, how do you prove yourself? Because black people have been enslaved, like you said, 400 years. Even if you take the chains off and say we're no longer on the ship, prisons.
Or the plantation.
Yeah. They try to keep us in the prison. Like, just like the lady said, they looking at what your reading level is in the 3rd grade.
Did you know that until then?
I did not know that, but I did know that. I knew that in prisons that they looked at people's education level, but I did not know, especially in black men or black people in general, they look at 3rd grade. But it makes sense. Everything that she said that day, it definitely makes sense.
And what
you don't,
and put it in context. Yeah, I need to know what made sense for you. In the context
of what made sense, I'm just thinking about me. Kindergarten, a breeze. I was in private school in kindergarten, but kindergarten was still a breeze. You take naps. What you're supposed to know in kindergarten, can your child write their name? Can your child count? Can they write their numbers?
Okay.
Can they kind of like tell a story back? You ain't really putting a book in front of them, but yeah, retell the story. By 1st grade, you learning a little more basic math.
Of course.
And they starting to put the blocks in front of you and telling you to separate the blocks. You know, now you're putting a book in front of a child. I need you to read on certain levels. So you start getting like the color levels of the books. By 2nd grade, so much of that, you're not exactly into multiplication yet. Because for me, that didn't come to 3rd grade.
Right. You don't begin to really multiply to the end of the 2nd.
But what I will say is in 2nd grade, I think they had simple, like basic fraction. By 3rd grade, you were literally, they were throwing like every week, just like spelling tests, you was having like multiplication tests in math. So your kids can know the time test. They start from 1, they go 2, and it goes all the way up. And I think by the end of the year, you were at 12. I'm not sure. I think that was before you got to the 4th grade.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
So I understand why she said that if you don't get it, because let's be real, some things I'd have forgotten. I'd be like, okay, if you don't get it by the 3rd grade, you really are screwed. Because by the 3rd grade, you get to 4th grade. And what are they doing? Long division. Now I got to know how to take these numbers and apply them and put them together. And I'll be darned, I get to 5th grade. Now they done mix this long division and multiplication in number sentences. So now you got to tell me reading. I got to read and multiply and divide and tell you what little Johnny did and how many apples and colors.
But that's only one strand or one idea of intelligence. We are multifaceted when it comes to intelligence. So, like she said, that's all about making us get in a box.
But let's get more in the box. And when I'm in 3rd grade, I also start answering the 10 ready test.
Okay.
Convergent. So now
my thinking though.
Yeah. So now I'm being
beginning
categorized.
To shape.
Yeah.
Of course.
And wherever they call it anywhere else, it's just 10 ready for us. But now or even if you're in private school, they have their own assessments. They don't take the 10 ready. But now you telling me, now I'm getting categorized. Now I can actually see, my parents can see where I fall on paper. Okay, my reading level is low. Ooh.
Yeah, you're still in the 1st grade.
Oh, and my math is like,
And you 10, reading like a 6-year-old.
And then what happens is I take it, and then I get to 8th grade, and I'm taking the EOC. So now I got to prove to you that I know how to write.
And you probably writing on the 4th grade level. Reading on the 3rd grade level.
Right. So and also in the 8th grade, then you also give me the Explore test.
Right.
So it's just like, and then you get to high school. And everybody don't get, I never got ACT prep.
Why?
Because see, the school I went to Paideia Magnet School, which is a school of seminar for those people who don't know. And I ended up leaving. My mom put me in my zone public school, my junior and senior year high school. So I missed that. But by the time I got there to my zone public school, I was ahead of those kids. The math they were taking, I had already taken. So they didn't put me in ACT prep. They put me in dual enrollment statistics. Well, I was already crappy at math. That was the reason I got pulled out of school in the first place. By the time I took the ACT, it was like...
What? Help me. What? It was like what?
I'm not even going to tell you my score. Let's just...
Listen. Let's do this. Were you a teenager?
And the thing
was you legal?
I was not.
Could you vote?
If I was legal,
was you able to vote?
I could vote.
No, with the test score.
The last time.
Your test score.
Yeah, my test score could exactly vote.
Oh,
the last
that's
time
how
I
you put
took
it. Right. Well, could you vote? Was you eligible to vote?
And that's the thing. Like, I've never been a good test taker ever. But I can recite things back to you well.
Right, but
on paper, it's like, oh, you might as well forget this. And I remember my mom debated and went at it. And to this day, we still argue about it because my student loans are like, whew. And now I'm in graduate school and they adding on like, whew. But you know, it's just like, you got to get that 3.0 or you got to have that 21 on the ACT. And I took the ACT 3 times. And it improved, but it never got to the 21.
Okay.
And clearly... I just kind of told myself, but I got my GPA
you just told on yourself.
I got my GPA. No, I'm not gonna stop talking. Listen, when I struggled in that last school and I transferred high schools, my guidance counselor said, you literally could have just needed to be here just one more quarter. And if you had been here one more quarter,
that would have had you prepared.
Or she said you would have got the Hope Scholarship because my GPA was almost like at a 3.0. But you know, you can't round a kid. Like, if they're not there, they're not there.
Right.
So she was like, wow, my grades were great when I was in my zone school, but the saying that it's so easy to drop your GPA, but it's so hard to get it up, those A's that I had made my junior and senior year, they were good, but they weren't good enough. Maybe had I went to that school my sophomore year.
What school?
East Ridge.
Okay, but you ain't coming from Chattanooga
School for Arts and Sciences. Maybe had I,
which is a great school.
Is a wonderful school.
Wonderful school.
Definitely taught me a lot of things. I know I wouldn't nearly knew how to converse and know anything about seminar had I not gone to that school.
Is that why you talk so well? Possibly.
Probably so. And as my mom and my other parents hated it, we were very debatable. And they said, that's a problem because when you come home, your children feel like they can debate with their parents.
Mm-mm.
Because every week, it was mandatory. We had every Wednesday, you had school-wide seminar in your advisory classes.
Gotcha.
Every week, you got a literature piece, and you were seminar.
Well, that's your strength. You do realize that, don't you?
Yeah, they taught me a lot.
But I'm just saying that's your strength to communicate.
Yeah.
I got you. Because we've been talking on this subject probably about 12 minutes.
I mean, hey, it all falls in the same guidelines.
I'm just saying. Last but not least, Corona. Talk to me about Corona. Not the drink.
Obviously.
But the disease. I mean, let's talk about Corona. Where are you with the coronavirus? What do you understand about the coronavirus?
Well, I would say I was ignorant to the issue about the coronavirus at first. I wasn't taking it very serious.
Why?
I didn't listen because, like I said, I was ignorant to the issue when it first came on. I didn't know much about it. But as I educated myself on the virus, I realized how the severity of it, and that, okay, this is serious, and that people are traveling and they're bringing this virus back to the United States.
Of course.
And I was watching as, like, the numbers were going up. Okay, one person has it, 2 person has it. Okay. Now we looking at 4 or 5 people in the U.S. have the coronavirus. Mm-hmm. Okay, like,
people are dying.
And it's like an epidemic, like a plague.
That's one of your course of study in college was what again? Health sciences. So you know
health
those
science
terms.
Concentration.
I know what you're but I'm just saying, but overall health science.
Yes. Yeah. And so with the coronavirus, people feel like, oh, it's let's be real. Everybody's still trying to get over the issue that there was like 3 strands of the flu going around. So people are still
You don't think
like,
it was?
No, it was.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I had the flu myself.
I know. I took care of you.
Yeah.
Thank
so
you,
people
cousin.
are still like, shh, get away.
Right. But the corona is not worse than the flu, but it kills.
Yes. So people are like double whammy now. You got directors in the job talk about if y'all even sneezing, don't come to work. Like we had a guy at my job. He didn't have the flu. He was down. Well, did he have the flu? I'm not sure. He was down, but he came to work the next day. He didn't even sound well. And they turned him right back around and told him, like, you got to go home. Kids, they just don't want to take the risk. And so, and it's probably because around Christmas time, when I came back from the flu, I came back and 3 people was out with the flu.
From which job? I'm trying to remember.
From DeVita.
Oh, okay.
So.
But you think you got the flu from DeVita, or you think you got the flu just because?
Honestly, I can't put a name on it where I got it from because I was having symptoms before I flew out to Illinois. But I didn't realize.
Yeah, the wedding. That's what it was. You were naked, not covered, showing your skin in the cold.
I didn't show
Illinois.
I had nothing but turtlenecks there and a North Face coat.
But you were in the wedding, right?
That was inside. We never went outside. We took pictures inside.
Okay.
The wedding was inside the hotel that we stayed in. So, and mind you, if you can remember, the day I flew back, it was 70 degrees.
But when you left, it was cold.
When I left, it was cold.
And then you came back to the heat. That's what usually gets us sick. We fly in and out of environments and temperatures that are not compatible.
But I had flu-like symptoms and didn't realize it until they diagnosed it and said, my back had been hurting that week, my neck had been hurting, my throat was hurting.
Yeah,
but I was thinking, sick. I was taking Mucinex Fastmax cold syrup, thinking I just had like a bad cold. And then I got back and the doctor said, oh, I can't give you fluconazole because, it's been so many days. But that's neither here nor there with this whole coronavirus. And you have so many people who are traveling. Okay.
We're going to 30.
You have so many people who are traveling. I work with people who travel.
Okay.
Our directors and our managers travel.
Okay.
They go through airports all the time. They're always gone. And they're coming back into the department. How do you know that you're not going to transfer or get anything? What shots are they giving us? Nobody's coming to our jobs giving us shots saying this will help you. Like you get the flu shot.
I got you.
So it's like, what do? People's like, they want to cancel trips. Are you going to cancel your trip, Ebony, that you're going on in June?
Of course not.
No, but I am going to be mindful of what's going on. I have to take a mask. Hopefully this is died over by then.
It happens. Well, you've done well. Like I said, we talked about Corona. We talked about the candidacy. We talked about closure. That's what we came to talk about today on the Yak. Or tonight. It is Super Tuesday, y'all. You know we're coming from Nashville. You know we've had a major catastrophic event that has happened in our neighborhoods, our neighboring counties. We pray for Putnam County. We pray for Dixon County, Davidson County, Wilson County. A lot of people are without power. A lot of people have lost people. A lot of people are looking for houses and shelter. Nashville is a war zone, and we just need y'all to keep us lifted and encouraged. We thank our lovely co-host, Miss Ebony, whose face will be on our flyer soon, who's helped us understand how difficult it is to bring closure to a situation. You've heard it first here on the Yak. Peace and blessings. You have anything you want to say? Of course not. Not anything else. You're good?
I'm good.
You sure?
Pray for Nashville.
Thank you for listening to The Yak, the Yolanda and Cornelius Show. Please check out our website at www.trifoldoutreach.com. Yolanda and Cornelius are gifted speakers, counselors, and life coaches and would love to speak at one of your upcoming events. You may reach them by email
at
trifoldoutreach@yahoo.com or by phone 1-800-664-1793. Remember to do justice, to love kindness, and walk humbly with your God.